Hey guys. Wow, it worked. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is going to be a super casual chat. I am not used to being on camera anymore. If I look somewhere else, I am alone other than Samson and little girl, who, praise God, are calm now. She's no longer having her time. So Sammy is no longer trying to get to her, which is good. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water here. Spring water out of a copper cup. There's some more tips for you. I don't know what was going on there. All right. So, super casual today because I have not looked into this subject a whole lot. Um, People think that it makes me angry or something, or that I don't want to look into it. I suppose, like everybody else, I have my own preconceived notions and biases. As far as it goes, I haven't looked into other people's doctrine. I just read the book. I don't remember enough from being in catechism. And I'll be real honest, they're not big on preaching revelation, especially to children, in like the classes and stuff. So this is new to me, new-ish. I've only been reading the Bible since 2018, so I cannot say if the Mandela effect affected it, but I will say I do believe that the Mandela effect is part of or one of the grand delusions. I did a video years ago on the main channel and talked about how every verse has deeper meanings. That is the same for every link that you see, every article, every message that the media puts out there. It has an alternative or hidden meaning that is not for everybody. But we can learn to interpret these messages and these symbols so that we can understand our enemy better and know what's coming, or what they're going to bring forth to us and the world at large. Um, so as far as that goes, I'm not a theologian, right? I've only been studying since like 2018. So I do believe that every like strong delusion is not just on the public scene, but it's also personal. It's on a personal level, something in your life that's deluding you. Which is why I'm so vigilant about my own life and very critical and a little suspicious in these times, because I was very naive, and I would say innocent, for my age. I was a mother, but I had no idea how my food got to the table, the reality of it, right? I had a general idea. Um, and so as once you find out how dark things are, it can be hard to figure out how to go on or how to navigate these waters. Having said that, it's evident to me that certain people that we idolized on YouTube, who got us into this and who got us into the truth movement and looking at things, they are not Catholics nor Christians. They say that they are, but they're not. How do you know this? Their behavior, their fruits. Somebody I watched a lot was from Boston, and most of you, if you watch big channels back in the day, you'll know who I'm talking about. I didn't realize then that Boston is the headquarters of the Satanic Temple, and that this guy was misleading in a lot of ways. They want us to think that the grand delusion is aliens, but what if it's our helpers coming and we rebuff them once again and we turn on God? Like what then? I don't know if I like this or this. What do you guys want to see though? At least there's a picture in the background. You can see my candles, but whatever. I will share the screen with you in a moment. I want to show you some physical books that I have, and start there and let you know my initial thoughts about this going in. And if I'm wrong, I am so ready to admit that I'm wrong. Regardless of what other people may say out there about you, about me, they simply don't know us if they're not walking in our shoes. And we should have that same respect for everyone else. We don't know what they're going through, right? We don't know. Um, Now I got my giant Bible here, my Catholic Bible, so I'm gonna just hang in there for a second. And I got a little one that I got at the Magic Consignment Shop when all this started. It's a smaller, I don't even know if it doesn't say KJV on it. It says Holy Bible Illustrated, and it has maps in it. Sammy had got a hold of it once when I first got it, but the covers weren't together, so I had to like make do and put them back together. I won't give it to anybody because there's no one really around to fix it. So I just try to be careful with it. Um, so I brought it out for you guys to show you like what the actual book says. And I'd like to take a look at what our church fathers thought. Go, to the source and see where all these doctrine kind of sprung up from. I was under the impression, my initial impression, much like in Genesis, when people say there's two creation stories, um, another way to look at that is that it's possible it is the same story and they are getting into a deeper explanation, right? Just like you have in an essay, you have the intro, which introduces the topics and the subjects, and then you have the body, which explains those topics more in depth, point by point. That was my impression of Genesis and Revelation, that it was showing you um kind of like a basic and then getting into a deeper meaning. Now, I did search it already, so that is up, and I'm going to bring that up for you guys to see in just a second. I left my music on because I found myself a little nervous today, and I don't know why. God is doing a new thing in me. And I don't judge you guys at all for like what you consume, if you like I don't have that right. Now I might have my initial human judgments, like that's not good for me. I'm going to steer clear of it, which we should all have our own personal discernment, right? On who you're going to bring into your life, who you're not going to bring into your life, who you're going to let around your family, who you're not going to let around your family. See what I mean? So I was under the impression that Satan's little season was them explaining Revelation, like the epilogue or whatever. Okay. Now, in doing a quick search, I find that I'm not alone there. There are other people that have seen it that way. One of them is a church father. His name is Hippomus or Hippa. Oh, I always get him wrong. We'll look at it. Okay. I want to show you this first. So here's this little Bible. I'm not great at like mirror images. Like I can't really learn an instrument that way. Somebody has to physically tell me, like I have to see a picture that tells me what keys to hit, because mirror images, like I don't do well reversing things unless I have another mirror. So this is the little Bible. There we go. There's the little Bible. Now I'm going to show you an inscription because it shows you the initial date. It says December 25th, Christmas, 1928. And the 1928 is on this side, and then somebody got baptized into the church. And so that's their greeting there. Now, this one is illustrated, which is amazing. I love old ink art, like printed, because you had to cut them by hand in the beginning, or at least that's what we're taught. And I learned that in art class. That person beat me out for the award that I won, the congressional award that we won. She won first place for a print, and it was just so beautiful. And so here's a little one with like a guardian angel. Oh, here's another one. So pretty. So I'm going to show you real quick. Here's a map. Now look at what it says. Okay, now you can read it if you like. The area was first called Canaan. Okay, then it went to being called Palestine. That says the 12 tribes under Canaan. And then Palestine. Now, my personal opinion is there's still a deception happening about the landmass. If you can understand what I'm saying there. Probably not, but I think everything's going to be revealed very soon. So now this one I have to be very careful with. So I'm going to read to you what it says about Satan's little season, and that is in Revelation 20. It is so small, like each chapter is so short. My Catholic Bible has like footnotes from like church fathers and pictures and a glossary and a dictionary in the back that tells you like all of the different church verbiage, which is so helpful. Yeah, the one watcher I had left because I said I was going to read the Bible. That's really sad. My shirt, before anyone asks, says, see, mirror images, I'm terrible. Justice for Mary Magdalene. And I am busty, but not as busty as this makes me look. The camera's weird on these things when you're using a laptop, like lens or whatever. I saw an angel. All right, so this says chapter 20. Satan bound for 1,000 years. This is like a little note at the top. The first resurrection, the last and general resurrection. So it's telling us in chapter 22, it's Satan is bound for 1,000 years. And then in 6, okay, so it's a little footnote, the first resurrection. And then 12, the last and general resurrection. Now, I'm going to say something here, especially because it's the beginning of the video, and there might be people who just stumble along this video. I wish there would be. There doesn't seem to be anybody here, which is disconcerting, but I'm going to continue because that's what I do, and it's what God asked me to do, so it's what I do. Okay. I'm going to have to, my Catholic Bible is really big, so we're going to read this, and then I'll read that one, so you can compare them yourselves. Now, some of you might be wondering, like, what is the general resurrection like? What does it mean by that? What it means is that the first resurrection is for believers. The second is for non-believers, but non-believers shall be judged by their works. So it means you still might get into heaven, paradise, Eden, whichever. I'm still torn about Eden and paradise because we were made for Eden, and that was supposed to be our paradise. And I believe heaven is more a state of mind, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm just like falling apart here. I'm sorry. I didn't like, it's a super casual. But God is doing a new thing in me, and we're in a new season. Let me talk to y'all for a minute. That side I like better. We are in a new season, and God is doing a new thing in a lot of us. It's just happening. It's just what it is. And I would like to say, hang in there. I'm proud of you. We've had a lot to face mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So I can only imagine what you're going through in your daily, everyday life. And you're not alone. When two or more are in agreement, even in spirit, even if we're not together, but we're praying on the same thing, He shall be with us. And when we ask, we shall receive. And you have to believe that, because that's a big part of this as well. But God is doing a new thing. And there's this prophet. He's the like a Trump prophet, Kim Clement. And he did a prophet about an Esther, a woman of a new Esther shall rise. And he says that animals will follow her. Now, I just started the vegan diet. And again, I'm not judging you all at all. You just don't know what you don't know. And when you're raised in a certain way, you really do believe what you're told. You believe the lies. And it takes a long time for that cognitive dissonance to kind of go away, because I don't know what's better. It takes a while for that cognitive dissonance to kind of go away. And when I heard this prophecy, I have been praying recently for about a month now. And I always ask this when I do when I pray about having the armor of God, and I go through the different elements of the armor and I ask for each one individually. I always ask for that, like, help to make me as wise as small Solomon, but as humble as Job, as courageous and brave as Saint Judith and Saint Joan of Arc, but as meek and humble as Mary, and help me to make And recently I've added Esther into that, and I've asked God to make me more like Esther, help to make me a more of a woman for this time, because I keep feeling like I'm in the wrong time, and make me more loyal and faithful and committed to his cause. And I've been praying for that, and I had never heard this prophecy. I'm going to say something, and a lot of you are going to get offended and you're going to stop watching the video, but I'm using it as an example. So let me just preface this. I have put my own self down so much, and I believe the lies about myself. Everything that everybody told me for years, my mom introduced me to the occult, and my spouse, taught me about like voting and all this other stuff, and the injectables and all that before he started, he went down the path too, and I think we separated somewhere. I mean, he went left and I went right. But what I'm saying is, God is doing a new thing with all of us. And I've been praying to be more like Esther for about a month now. And I've put myself down so much, and I believe the lie so much that that's what I became. I'm a busty girl, as you see, you saw when I stood up to show you my shirt. And if you want to talk about that, we can or whatever, but let me finish what I'm saying. You believe the lies, right? I was a busty girl. People assumed that I was a certain way, that I was loose. And eventually I became that way. And I've told you all this. I've like confessed online and stuff, which people disagree with, whatever. I've put myself down so much that when I heard this prophecy, I said, you know what? Why not? Why not me? Maybe I am that person, that queen who will rise, queen. My dad's name, I told you about all that, me coming from France, and my dad's name meaning royalty, my name being White Spirit Princess, and his middle name I just found out meant his first name means kingly or something, and his middle name means like August, and I guess that means like elevated or something like that. Anyway, I went all through all these symbols in my own life, and I've told you all that just to help share with you, not to pump myself up. He says I have main character syndrome, which honestly, if I had main character syndrome, I would show my face more. I would be made up. I would make sure I look to the nines like I used to. I would seek people out more, big groups. I would not be in a room with two dogs most of the time, at least when the weather's bad. My point is this: when people say something about you long enough, you start to believe it. And when you start to believe it, you will become it. It will happen. And don't do that. I said, why not me? Why couldn't I be this Esther that Kim Clement speaks about? Why couldn't it be me? Animals follow me. And I became full vegan recently because I had a problem with dairy when I saw how dairy happens. And again, this is an example for something else. So just hang in there with me for a moment. When I saw that and I saw the cow's eyes, I recognized the trauma there because it's my eyes too. I have very expressive eyes. People have always told me that. And Kim Clement's prophecy says about this woman who will rise up, will be queenly, and animals will follow her, and she will have deep eyes or something like that. Anyways, my point is this: I'm not saying I am that. I'm saying, why not me? I'm saying don't put yourself down anymore, because God's doing a new thing right now. And no matter what time we are in, we need to walk this out and navigate the waters in the same way, no matter what. And what is that way? Righteously, upstanding. And I don't mean self-righteous. Righteous people don't know they're righteous. Saints don't know they're saints. Leaders don't know they're leaders. Like they don't run for office, right? The best leader is always the reluctant leader. The best prophet is always the reluctant prophet, because they get the job done. Because people will follow a humble, everyday, common man and woman or child. So don't depend on the screen so much to tell you what time we are in. And don't depend on people around you to tell you who you are. Let the one who made you do that. Let your own spirit do that. But don't let other people and outer influences tell you who you are, because I did that for so long that I became that. And I'm having a really hard time right now with self-forgiveness. Like that's a problem for me right now. Like a big problem. So let's read chapter 20, and then I'm going to tell you what the Catholic Bible says, because it has like the footnotes from the church fathers in it. So this little one from at least the early 1900s. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hands, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So they're referring to the name devil and Satan as being both, meaning the same thing, which is good. We need to understand that the word Allah simply means the word God. It's a generic term for the word God in Aramaic or Arabic. I apologize. Okay. Little girl she's so funny. And he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Okay. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. So we see here in this older Bible that it disagrees with it doesn't align with my own preconceived notion. Me saying I think it's the same event, them explaining it deeper. That according to this, it is very clear in basic English that these are two different events and there's two different resurrections. Okay, so let's keep going. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. So those who were already raised, those who were in Christ and died because they were martyred and persecuted, part of the first resurrection, who were taken up and all that already, it says that the second death will not affect them. It will not be an issue for them. Okay, so now we're moving to the little season where they're going to explain that, I think. And Christ shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan he be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners. This says quarters. Four quarters of the earth. That's interesting. Four quarters. Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Just making sure. All right. And okay, so let's read that again. Once he's loosed, he shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. Gog and Magog. Okay, so now after the four quarters of the earth, there's a comma. And then it says Gog and Magog. All right. So the people he gathers first, Gog and Magog, that means something different because there's a comma there. That's a different group. But it says Gog and Magog. So that's like, what is that? Some people say it's the giants. I just recently heard that from one of you guys. Okay, so Miniature Fractal says, so weird. I just posted about this last night. Our minds and stories have so much resemblance. I didn't even see that you posted. Are you on YouTube? I have to subscribe. Did I subscribe to you? I try to sub to people who sub to me, even if they don't have videos up. That way, if they ever decide to, I can watch them and support them. Hang on here. Spring water out of a copper cup. And I have some mushroom tincture coming that I will show you in the next video or when it gets here. Like I said, I try to give you guys little tips throughout, but I'm not a doctor. Okay, so Gog and Magog. So once they get, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together. Okay, so they're referring to those that are in the four quarters of the earth as Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So that's epic. That's epic. That's a lot, right? That's a big number. That's like uber big. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city. And the fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. So that would be New Jerusalem. That would be the people who lived in peace with Christ on earth for 1,000 years. Okay. My question is, who's living with Christ for the 1,000 years? Like, because if the people were martyrs, okay, so obviously some people live through the tribulation, right? After that part, after the persecution of the saints. And so they are the ones, I guess, because they still have families, maybe, children and husband and wives and stuff. Okay, so they're in the city with Jesus in this New Jerusalem. So, and once Satan gets loose, and after the 1,000 years, it says they surround their camp. They surround the holy city. And fire came down from God. It says it's not from Jews or these magical tech weapons. That's what I'm talking about, knowing who you're following and watching. They're giving, I'm a TI, but I refer to it as a spiritual, multidimensional effect, not an effect. It's like a problem, right? They give tech all the credit. That's not happening. Some of it is happening, but it's not all these different like things like messing with your brain and like, yeah, some of these things being around messes with our frequency, obviously, and our bodies because they're supposed to be temples, obviously. But prayer and eating right, all these things mitigate that. And in fact, it makes it so your armor of God is your spiritual armor is full. There's no holes in it. So they have no legal authority to touch you then. I try to speak on consent in like every video because it's so important right now. Do not let anyone new into your house physically. If someone knocks on the door and they ask to be let in and they don't usually do that, tell them no, because that has everything to do with spirit. Okay, let me get there. Okay, so it says there's gonna be a lot of them. Like number of whom is as the sand of the sea. That's weird. We have a volleyball fit court at the park where I show you guys. There's like a little area of sand, and most of you know, like Joshua Tree has been calling to me for like years and a couple years now. And the sand there, like I walk in it and I pretend or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is so nice, And I was just saying something about like I'm nothing but a grain of the sand compared to how many souls, really need help. God's just not got to me yet or whatever. Anyways, if you understand the verbiage and you like the video, I do appreciate the thumbs up on the actual video because it helps me know if I'm like, if you're tracking with what I'm saying, if you're following along. You don't have to agree, right? Doesn't mean you agree. You support the person who's making the video, not so much the topic even. But I know that the people who watch me, a lot of them are here to just have ammo against me, do me harm, by me saying something that's gives them legal rights to do me harm. I'm well aware, of these things. All right, so it goes on to say, and they went up on the breadth of the earth. This is gonna be epic, dude. If we are in this time, it's gonna be epic. Like I can't even. I don't want to say I'm excited, but I mean, it's epic, right? It's epic. It's like a movie. It's like the best movies about humanity when you have that chance to just rise up. And that's what I'm saying. It's a time of great courage. I enjoy taking things away from myself and denying myself things spiritually. Physically, like I'm dying for a glass of milk because I love milk. Now that I know how it's brought about, I can't support it because I don't support grape. Remove the G. Because that's what that is, and I didn't know. And I'm sorry for that, obviously. God's doing a new thing in me, and it doesn't mean I'm judging you. It just means he's doing a new thing in me. I don't know why. I get like 4 or 5 views. I don't know who might be changed by my testimony, but I hope somebody is, because I've offered all of my mental suffering up to God, and there's been a lot of it. And I'm a lot stronger than people give me credit for. And some people say, "Oh, she's not been through nothing. She's never been persecuted. She's never had to live on the street." Da 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 da. Living with people who hate you and have literal murder in their heart for you, like my mother was like that for a time with me, and I couldn't physically be around her. When your temple is clean, these are your natural gifts of mankind, and they will surface. And I'm here to tell you now, the Satanists, they're fasting. I'm not even gonna tell you what video I saw it in or anything, but they take this very seriously, and they are fasting. They are deluded. They think that people who follow God are that we endorse murder to. And people, you're not gonna believe this, you say, "Well, I'm not important." Your soul is very important, and they're here to corrupt it, because hell, you're about to find out, was not made for mankind. It's not even made for us. We're not supposed to go there. And the fact that there's 2 resurrections in the second one, and I'm so excited about this. The second one is for people who live morally. And here's the thing, teachers have been not teaching that. They've been saying, "Oh, if you don't believe, you're going to go straight to Hades." And that pushes people away from God, and they go and sin because they're like, "Why bother trying?" Like, how so many people have been pushed away, and this is your chance. God is giving all of us an opportunity to see things for ourselves, how they really are, and to make our decision. He's never going to ask you to decide on something in haste or without any information. That's not God. That's the other one. All right, let's continue. And here's the thing, like everything I do, like my personal beliefs about autonomy and stuff, they are Luciferian, allegedly. But it's what Christ taught us. And that's why labels are a problem. Moses was born with horns. Baphomet has horns. It's very possible we've been looking at some of this all wrong and flipped upside down because we are inverted here. And I don't mean, and I'm playing devil's advocate here for a reason for what we're reading. So let's continue. And they went up on the breadth of the earth. So that would be, I want to get, can you hold, please? I'm going to grab my map and I'm going to show you, it's in a frame, but I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so this is by Professor Orlando Ferguson of Hot Springs, South Dakota in 1893. This was his biblical interpretation of the earth, not so much like the stars and the Milky Way or the firmament, but the earth. And he does indicate that there's ice around it. So it says scripture that condemns the globe theory, and then it gives you verses, but I'm going to show you the picture. So, because I think the breadth of the earth would be this ridge that you're seeing. So I'm going to show you. Shoot, I'm not great at mirror images, guys. There we go. You see the breadth? It would be that ridge. That's where they're going, is what this is saying. On the outer edges of the earth. Breadth of the earth. Okay, so let's continue. And they went up upon the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about in the beloved city. So that's where they come from. They're going to come from, oh my gosh, it's like Game of Thrones. These people, I don't even know if they realize that, like, they're writing the hero's journey and the biblical story into every story, even Pinocchio. And people always want me to do the Pinocchio video again, so I will. I actually found mini books at the Magic Consignment Shop. Pinocchio. So we'll do that too. All right, let's continue. Then they went upon the breadth of the earth and compassed about the saints about in the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. So no high tech, it's from God. Allegedly, Uriel is the angel with the discs of fire at this time. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heavens fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and right, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. So death and hell. People are getting out of hell and death, because death is Satan's like power. It's his principality, right? So if he's in the lake of fire, that's got to give up his dead too, right? Or the place of death. You get what I'm saying? I hope the concept of death. All right. Oh, that's amazing to me. I just don't know what to say. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Hell was never made for mankind. It's like a holding place. Tartarus is where the fallen angels are chained up. And they got you all wanting to go there. And that's not good. It's not made for you. But if you consent in this place, and especially in this time, you're going to end up where you pick, where you choose to go. Because God doesn't, he doesn't force. That's the other one. Chapter 21. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and earth were passed away. So all this happens after the 1,000 years. So it is showing that it's two events, right? Which would make me wrong. Right, hold on. I'm going to grab, oh my gosh. There we go. It's a big one. I saw a big one. It's ginormous, but if you want to take a screenshot, you'll be able to. And there's footnotes down here where my thumb is. Now, this one basically goes along with it, but I want to read to you the footnotes real quick. And this is studying. This is us researching. So chapter 20, and it says, Satan chained. And I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key of the abyss and a great chain in his hand. Now, this is chapter 20. That's missing from that book. This part. Again, the Catholic Bibles have all the books that everyone's missing, and you're not going to know a story, and if you're in it, you're not going to know your part in it unless you know all the books. And again, that's Masonic, and this Zionism stuff, and that's just the truth. You can hate me, most do. I get it, I understand, but I don't understand. My heart doesn't understand. And he laid hold on the dragon, the ancient serpent, who is devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years, and he cast him into the abyss. Okay, so that part is probably just maybe included in chapter 19 in the other book. And he cast him into the abyss and closed and sealed it over, that he should deceive the nations no more until the 1,000 years should be finished. And after that, he must be let loose for a little while. Now it says the reign of the saints. And I saw thrones, and men sat upon them, and judgment was given to them. And I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded because of the witness to Jesus and because of the word of God, and who did not worship the beast or his image, and did not accept his mark on their foreheads or upon their hands. And they came to life and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come to life till the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he who has part in the first resurrection. Over these, the second death has no power, but they will be priests of God in Christ and will reign with him 1,000 years. And they're saying there that they will be equal with Christ. God, this is heavy. Gosh, sorry. Okay, so verse 19. And again, this could be one of the delusions. Why? Why would the other team want us to think it was Satan's little season? Because then we're consenting to him running rampant even worse than he already is. If we believe it and we receive it, then it could happen, right? And if we consent to that happening, again, God didn't give everything in here. God, you can't contain the maker of the universe in a book, right? This is just a guide. We're supposed to read between the lines. And there, it doesn't tell you to tie your shoes in here, but if you don't, you'll fall on your face and get hurt. So this gives us the basics of what God's doing. He gives us free will to decide what to do and to make our decision. And even children will hear the gospel whether you want them to or not. You keeping the Bible from them will do nothing but harm your soul, not theirs. God, as I said, Pinocchio gives the story of Christ, of God. It's in there. It just is. And yes, somebody made a video once, like, directed at me on the old channel about that. I had a lot of stalking going on, which is why I moved everything to this channel. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of views, a lot of subscribers, and I lost the like seniority that I had. Like, that I had that account since 2011. So anyways, let's see. Okay, so verse 2, the false prophet, the second wild beast, that of chapter 13. So they're saying there's more than one beast as well. Okay, so it says, verse 2, it says 1,000, and this is the footnotes from church fathers. It says 1,000 years not to be taken literally. It signifies that after the destruction of hostile kings and the chaining of the dragon, the church will enjoy a long era of peace. During this era, Christ will reign over the souls of men, and Christians, through their influence over the world, will reign with Christ. Satan will be prevented from extending his kingdom. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate, sort of, for myself anyway. If this is the little season of Satan, right? If this is his little season, hold on. I can't put you down and you're heavy. Then it's possible, if we are in the millennial reign. Oh my gosh, it's heavy. Hold on. It's possible if we are in that era, if we are in that era of the millennial reign, then spiritually, the church has led the world, which you can see. Like, there's historical evidence for that. Now, they might have messed with the years and they might have mistaught us education in school. But I'm here to tell you there's a reason they want into the Vatican. There's a reason they want into the vaults, because they want to rewrite everything again or remove themselves from the hidden history. Again, the fallen want worshipped, but once you know who and what they are, the jig is up. And I feel I'm interrupted a lot in conversation, and it's usually when I'm like rebuking without even knowing it or revealing something. I know when I'm on the right track because of how people react. And in this day and age, and the times that we are in, you have to do that. You have to do things like that. And it's frustrating, but it's what you have to do. So it's very possible they meant spiritually, that he ruled over everything spiritually. But we get into parts here which might disagree with that, so we'll continue. If this was the millennial reign, if we are the millennial reign generation, like if we were raised up because, our parents were during the tribulation or whatever, if this is the millennial reign ending, then where is Christ? Wouldn't he reveal himself if he's ruling in the city with the other saints? Why would he hide himself? Because we have to make the decision? We had to have time to grow up and decide? Is that why maybe there would be synthetic humans around us? Like droids or whatever you call them? We have to consider things. We just do. Like, where is he then? Where is he if he's ruling physically? Where's he at? Like I said, our competition, or my competition, the competition of the children of God, they fast. Like, they take this very seriously. They practice their religion, and Christians are weak, especially church Christians. And again, this is the truth. And I promised God that this is what I would do, that I would speak truth. As much of it that he revealed to me, as much of it that I knew, um, to make up for the wicked things I've done in my life. And you might not agree with that, with me doing that, but it's been helping me as a person, and I'm spiritually strong. Like I said, I love denying myself things because it makes me stronger. It makes me have a stronger will, right? To say no when temptation comes along. But my flesh, I want a chocolate milk so bad, and I would love a mocha latte, right? I can't have those things because I've said no to dairy. So my flesh might want it, but my spirit is benefiting from saying no to myself. Do you know what I mean? Most people don't know what I mean today because they don't do that. They give themselves whatever they want, even if they have to take it or steal it, like most of you have done from me. You're not going to destroy me. You've stolen from me, right? You've deceived me. He comes to lie, steal, and destroy, deceive, destroy. It's not going to happen. I'm doing this for the souls of my children. Um, and because we've all been taught so backwards, right? All right, so here we go. So the reign of the saints, the rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years were finished. Okay, so Satan loosed, and when Satan is loosed, when the years are finished, he will be released from his prison and go forth and deceive the nations which are in the four corners. Now, this one says corners, that one said quarters. I don't know that matters so much, but we'll see. Gog and Magog, and again, there's a comma there, and will gather them together for the battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up over the breadth of the earth and encompassed the camp of the saints and the beloved city. So are they above us? Literally, like physically? Like Eden, like how the trees were, all the giant trees were cut down so we couldn't get up there anymore? Man, it really stinks when a generation is punished for the things the previous generation did. And I wouldn't even say punished, like it's just a cause and effect, right? If you rape the land and you keep using the same land and farmers know this is why they rotate fields. If you keep planting in the same field, you're not going to have any minerals left. We need minerals. You're not going to have any left. And I get my minerals direct now. I don't wait for it to pass through an animal. Do you know they inject B12 into the animals? It's not actually in there. All the things they put in the animal are from plants and other sources. The animal, like we are not animals, and there is a degree of separation, but the degree of separation is we're supposed to attend to them. That's cause and effect, right? If you keep raping the land, the effect is going to be that it's not going to give to you anymore, right? So the way this plays out, okay, so the breath of the earth would be like round and about us. Are they up there right now watching all of us? This is so wild, guys. Like, if we're in that time, like, oh my gosh, we're gonna see some stuff. Like, I don't even know what to say because I am excited, but not. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Because again, hell wasn't made for us, and hell gives up the dead, and they're judged. So then they either go into the fire or they get out. Those are people I think who went in the Old Testament times. I believe that's my interpretation right now. Basically first look. Dairy cravings will lessen over time. Ooh, I hope so. I have oat milk and it's good. Like I really like it. So I'm hoping. My problem now is like coffee and tea, like caffeine and high fructose sugar. The only thing I drank with it or ate with it was soda. And that's just so that I could have the bubblies, right? Because so much we eat is like restrictive and causes you to have indigestion because it's not supposed to be in there. Anyways, let's continue with this. Okay, so and the fire. Okay, so 28. And they went up over the breadth of the earth and encompassed the camp of the saints in the beloved city, and fire from God, not from high-tech weapons, not from Jews, came down out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil who deceived them was cast into the pool of fire and brimstone, where are also the beast and the false prophet, because they're already there, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. So most of us know that the pool of fire, that's not hell. Like, it's a different thing. Okay. So the last judgment is next. And that's after this like magnificent battle. So if they go up above the breadth of the earth, is that the giants? Are the giants like that? Is Gog and Magog giants? Are they ginormous people? This is wild, dude. Like, I can't even. Wow. Like, I'm just. People be like, why are you smiling? This isn't good. But it is good because there's no hell. Like, that's a good thing. That means my family could get into heaven just by not doing bad things. So hopefully I'm right, and those aren't the spirits of them, and they've already went up, or they repent. Something. Anyway, the last judgment. And I saw a great white throne, and the one who sat upon it. From his face, the earth and heaven fled away, and saw there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, the great and the small, standing before the throne, and scrolls were opened. Ooh, they have a chance still. I'm so excited about that. And another scroll was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things that were written in the scrolls according to their works. So this is the people who were already deceased. There are people who live through the tribulation and the second judgment. Like, they're alive as this is going on. They're not dead. They had their physical body hasn't died. I feel so weird saying that because I don't believe in it anymore. Like, death isn't even a thing for me. So it feels weird for me to say that. Like, I know what it is now. But again, we have to all, in our own time, we come to certain things, and there are certain things I won't say. And that's not me being deceptive. That is me being caring for your walk and letting you have your journey on your own, right? Because certain things just aren't meant for everybody. So when you're ready, you'll learn certain things. I try to point them out, but I can't decide for you, and I can't even reveal for you. I just can point them out to you, and your eyes have to behold certain things for yourself to make your own decision. I don't want to be one of them people who frames life for you in like these little stories. Like, I try not to let my personal bias, like when I'm having personal videos or bias, I tell you, right? But with this stuff, I can't tell you certain things that I've learned, because you have to come to certain things in your own when you're ready. I can't make you ready, and I don't know when you're ready. Only you and God know that. You and your maker. Okay, so and the sea gave up the dead that were in it, and death and hell gave up the dead that were in them. Oh, that's great. And they were judged, each one according to their works. And hell and death were cast into the pool of fire. This is the second death, the pool of fire. And if anyone was not found written in the book of life, he was cast into the book of fire. Man, believe on Jesus and let God change you. A new heaven and a new earth. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. So instead of just like for the millennial reign, you have a city, right? You have a city, a holy city that is ruled, and Christ is there. But now you're going to get a whole new earth. No blood spilled upon it. No poison, no toxicity. You'll get to see water as it's meant to be seen. You'll get to see grass as it's meant to be. Who knows what color things really like I'm being real here. Who knows what color things truly are? If we've and they'll say, well, we don't put this. You can see it in the cars, guys. You can see poison in the air. I don't know how else to say it. That's why one of the reasons I don't drive personally. Yes, I do get in vehicles. I'm a really big proponent of carpooling. I don't think each household has to have 50, 11 cars. That's me, though. I'm not judging you and telling you what to do. That is my perspective and my opinion. You don't have to do what I do. I don't have to do what you do. I have that respect for you, forced conversions and these ideas, this is what leads to like holy wars and miscommunications, and people thinking Christians are bloodthirsty because of all these things that happened in the past, which also weren't written right, because honestly we're raised and told to be martyrs. I know that sounds terrible, but we're basically schooled to be that way, um to be submissive, right? The ones of us that are truly in the 12 tribes, because there are many people of God, maybe, but the 12 tribes, like that stretch from the beginning, because now you have like IVF and certain different things. So we're in the times of Noah. Like I don't think we're in Satan's little season, but that's my opinion. That's why I'm researching it, because I'm wrong all the time about stuff. I think they want us to think that because they don't want us looking for the Antichrist. That's my opinion. And they literally want you to think like Trump is maybe not him, whoever he's like making the way for, but I didn't think the AC would choose a body like that. Not to be funny, I'm being honest. I thought he would choose someone beautiful or someone a little older that people would look up to. I didn't think it would be someone like this. So again, I'm wrong all the time. Let's keep investigating. So he gave up their dead, and the dead. This is the second death, the pool of fire. And if anyone was not found written there, he was cast into the fire. Okay, so I'm going to read to you the footnotes, and then we'll look at a couple links, okay? So it says, verse 20, the false prophet, the second wild beast, that of chapter 13. So there's more than one beast, guys. I think AI is a beast. I think the internet itself is a sentient being, and we're communicating through it, and which is weird to me. I haven't got it all figured out yet, but I'm getting there. Again, God's doing a thing with me. I can't even explain it. I don't want to explain it. I don't know what it is. My mom said that I was stronger than she ever was, but now I'm coming into like this whole new level of courage that I just haven't had since I was very young. And honestly, it's nice. It's going to be necessary. We need to be brave, and we need to have courage. We need to stand firm in our beliefs, not just our beliefs, but what is true. Truth is the only foundation that is made of stone, guys. All other foundations are sand. And that means you're going to sink, or you're going to collapse and topple over, or you're going to be brushed aside, right? You can't stand on sand for long. It's not a firm foundation. So it says 1,000 years, not to be taken literally. It signifies that after the destruction of hostile kings and the chaining of the dragon, the church will enjoy a long era of peace, which we could maybe say this was. We see wars all the time though on TV. Are they actually happening or not? I don't know. Are they old things they're showing us just so we think it's happening now? I have a feeling that's what's happening with some of like the celebrity videos and the political news. I think they filmed it a couple years ago. That's my opinion. I'll keep going. So during this era, Christ will reign over the souls of men, and Christians, through their influence over the world, will reign with Christ. Satan will be prevented from extending his kingdom. Verse 5, the rest of the dead, sinners who will not enjoy any kind of resurrection until the end time. The first resurrection, the spiritual reign of the faithful with Christ during the long period of 1,000 years. It's a spiritual reign. The general resurrection on the last day is referred to in verse 12 and 13. So we could also say that we are now having a lot of false religions that are being propped up, right? And what do I mean by false religion? Because I feel funny even saying that now, because they all seem false right now. And I'm just being real. And I'm sorry, Lord, but I have to be honest. I promised him I'd be truthful. And the institutions of the churches have people in them, and people do wicked things. And they're influenced by the fallen who have figured out somehow how to use the bodies of men as their own. And we have hints of that all over. Satan will be prevented from extending his kingdom. So does his kingdom still exist, and the only holy place is the city? The church will enjoy a long era of peace during this era. Christ will reign over the souls of men and Christians. Yeah, see, they're explaining it as a spiritual. And again, I'm not saying this is correct. I'm just giving you an alternate, a little more information. So it says the rest of the dead or the sinners will not enjoy any kind of resurrection until the end of time. The first resurrection, the spiritual reign of the faithful with Christ during the long period of 1,000 years. The general resurrection on the last day is referred to in verse 12 and 13. Gog and Magog. It says after 1,000 years, the nations will attack the church. These nations are designated as Gog and Magog. Oh, so the nations shall attack the church, and the nations are Gog and Magog, which is still mysterious to me. I still don't quite get it, but we'll continue. These nations are designated. The names are taken from okay, he's gonna tell us. Ezekiel and rabbinical books. The names were used to signify the nations that would rise up against the Messiah. The names are to be understood figuratively and signify the earthly powers that will make the last onslaught the church. Why does that say Messiah with an S on the end? Oh gosh, my arm, guys, I'm sorry. I've been going through, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm going through it with my body and spiritually and mentally right now. Probably because I'm denying myself more things. That always happens. Whenever you deny yourself things, your flesh is gonna like be tempted by all these things around you because look where we live. I mean, it's nothing but temptation. We basically live in that, what is it called? Pleasure Island in Pan, and in Pinocchio, it's the carnival or whatever. He wants to go out to the carnival. I can't remember exactly the word that they use, but that's where we're at. And we're enjoying like Happy Meal toys, basically. I want to exit the system. That is my goal. Am I going to be able to do it? I don't know, because God, again, I have to wait on God. I can't do anything rash or hasty or it's going to harm me or my animals. I have to just, and this is a personal testimony, and then I'll get back to that. Somebody is looking for me. And whenever somebody's searching for you, it's always best to stay in one place. I hope that makes sense. I don't know who it is. Like, we'll talk. Yeah, I've tried to talk to you about some of these strange things. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a screen share. And we're going to see what the church fathers, like, we're going to go back to the roots and see what the people in the beginning thought of this. Was it just one thing? Was it tribulation and they were just getting into more detail? Was it just, a writing? I forget what it's called. I should look it up for you guys. Was it just a writing tactic like you see in essays, the intro and the body, where they just introduce in the story and then getting into the details? Is it all one thing? Satan's little season and tribulation? Are we getting two different perspectives? Or is it an actual two different events? Well, if you don't listen to anyone else and you just read it, it comes like two different periods of time and two different events. So I was wrong, guys, about my preconceived notion. It's important in these times, especially, to take accountability. So I was wrong about my initial preconceived notion, and I'm happy to admit that to you. That's why we do this, and that's why we do it together. Now we're going to pull up some links and see what we can find. I know some of you sent me videos and stuff. I didn't go through all of the videos yet. I did start. I don't know that, I don't know about the people teaching it. And that's my problem with this too, is when I look at the source of where this is coming from, that right now we're in the little season, the people that are pushing this and promoting this, they don't hit me as Holy Spirit filled. They don't hit me as godly people. That's my initial impression, guys. And again, I said, I don't judge or condemn, but I am a human being. I am a woman. So I do have initial human judgments. But I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying they're wicked. I'm not saying they need to go to hell. I'm not saying any of that, right? So please don't misconstrue my message. Hi, Conan. There is an anime about children raised for food for demons. Promised Neverland. Yeah, I told you, I think that's us. We are that generation. I was unaware of it. Didn't know. The giants are awake. That is another possibility. Are they just telling us that we are in this time so that we fall in line and allow ourselves to become food? Mankind is not food. I do not consent. I am not food. I do not consent. Dogs are not food, and cows are the same as dogs, so they're not food either. In my world, in my reality, okay? You need to decide what you consent to and don't consent to. But your words need to have power, and to have power, you need to be aligned. Your thought, your personal inner triangle pyramid, your inner hierarchy. And yes, I threw the sign. I told you I'm taking it all back from them. All of it. All of it. I'm taking it all. The clowns are Nephilim. Dude, you mean? I have heard that theory. I don't know if I agree with it, but clowns are kind of creepy. Like, I'll say that straight up. Clowns are weird. I don't care for them. I never did. Never liked clowns. Like, at all. I was one of those kids, like, I don't do clowns. Like, not for my kids, not for anyone else's kids around me. We always went to a Christmas party at the Optimist Club, and I should have known when we were invited to that stuff. I should have known. Anyways, they always had a clown, always, and I don't do clowns, like, at all. I don't like them. So, are they clown? I don't know. My grandma had a lot of clowns, and I got them, and I put them in a box, and I couldn't tell you where they are because they creep me out. A couple of them I like, I don't mind them, but the whole attitude of the men who do the clowns, yeah, I mean, I could see that, Conan, I actually could. Okay, so let's go to a quick link. Let me see if I can share the screen with you guys. I could just end this video here and it could be the intro. We'll see. I mean, I've already been on for an hour. I just want people to, I want us all to learn, you know? And I'm going to make sure it's sharing. La, 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 la. Yeah, okay. Oh, thank you for participating, guys. I love it. There's a content creator, Journeyman says, there's a content creator called Understanding Conspiracy who has a series called The Nephilim Were Clowns. He's moved more towards the Little Season theory. I I don't know if he's the channel that I was watching. Yeah, that's who I meant. Um, I've seen his channel, and I'm participating with you guys. Like, if you know, I hope you don't mind the creator actually commenting and talking with you. I always thought that was good to do. Anyways, and you keep talking as I go. Like, I don't mind at all. That's awesome. I'm glad to see it. Um, again, we have to look at who's pushing this. The people who were pushing that Nephilim are clowns. Again, I think they are Nephilim. I think they're revealing themselves, guys. Some of these people that are online right now doing YouTube videos that are telling some truths, they are of that bloodline, and this is what they're doing. They're revealing it. They want most people to be in like a state of fear, and then they want other people to think they're cool and join them. So again, we have to. I'm walking the line. This is why I'm walking alone right now. Because I just don't know people. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's take a look at this. Now, I wanted to know the church fathers' interpretation. I just wanted to hear the doctrine. So let's give us a minute. That one's from the Christian Study Library. We have faithbyreason.net, hidden history or hearsay. Huh. I'm curious what that says. You guys have a preference on what I click on here? Again, I don't want my own bias to interpret or to interrupt. British guy, ginger hair and beard. Yep. Dude, the gingers are their bloodline. That's who they don't like Christ. Like, they're not Christian. They're just not. They promote guns, they promote war. That's everything the fallen do. They're pretending to be like us. And I've talked about this in numerous videos throughout this year, and I hope I don't lose you because of this. But most gingers, not all, again, not all. Okay, we even had giant saints. Saint Christopher was a large individual, a large human being, whatever, humanoid. So I'm not saying everyone, but the gingers, especially the ones you see on TV who are rising up, they are rising up because they're of that bloodline. You can tell it by what they push, you can tell it by how they talk. They all push guns, they all push and I'm not saying you can't defend yourself. So please again, don't misconstrue. But if you are a Christ follower, if you know the real Christ, he was a pacifist. Now you're going to say, oh, people are making him a hippie. That's not what I'm saying at all. He overturned the tables. He had a lot of courage. But when he says he's coming back with a sword to divide people, your sword is part of the armor of God. You know that, right? What is your sword? Your personal sword. It is your tongue. It is the words that come from your tongue because words have power. My mom used to tell me my words cut like a knife. And I'm telling you now, the gingers are being raised up because everything that's popular right now, everything you're seeing trending is not good. None of it is good. God's people don't trend online. And that's what people say. What did the saints hang around all this time? Christ said they wouldn't pass away until, yeah, I do believe they're still around. Do you think the media is going to show them to us? Do you really think that they're going to give real God's people play airtime? Come on now, don't be that naive. Don't be that naive, man. I get like 30 views in a day. God's not going to prop people. And I mean, we are in that time. There is going to be a prophet of God, and there's going to be people speaking against the Antichrist, and those people will be lifted up. But I'm talking about people lifted up materialistically, given a lot of money, things of that nature. And you can tell again by their personal doctrine that they live by. I watched this one ginger, and I like his channel and not well enough, but it's all about pushing, war, and it's all about prepping. They're getting you into sin, guys. Listen. Okay, so prepping, there's nothing wrong with being prepared. I'm semi like that. But if you get onto it at that level that they're talking about, you can't turn into a hoarder. That's sinful. It's sinful to have people that are homeless, that have no homes, no food, nothing, and you have hordes of it and you're just sitting on it doing nothing with it. That's not a Christ follower. That's not a real, genuine Christ follower. You might be like that. You might be in that theology group. That might be your personal doctrine that you live by. And I'm telling you, come out of her, my people. That's not Christ. My belly's growling. I'm sorry. That's not Christ. Guys, Christ is a pacifist. Did he ever end anyone to exorcise the demons from them? No, he never did harm to them. I never even seen him in the Bible do harm to an animal. Christ didn't go to the feasts. He didn't sacrifice animals. So these Old Testament people, they don't even know what they're following, man. And it's disappointing and it's depressing. That's not God. And that's the sad thing is like I know that there's a lot of literal Satanists who are okay with being Satanists who are vegan because they think that the true God condones those practices. That's why they don't want to see God, nothing to do with God. They're Satanists in theology. They are Satanists by they don't believe in a literal Satan. They believe in like worship of self and libertarian theology. Those are the ones that I kind of I see where they're coming from because my dad was that way a lot. And a lot of it is a male tendency to be that way. But who taught us war, guys? The fallen angels. If you're following a prepper who always is talking about, these things, I don't even know how to do the hand symbol. And he's always talking about those things. That's not a child of God, and they don't know Christ. Oh my gosh. I'm not a racist. I don't talk that way. People of darker skin tone, people of color, I'm sure some are, just like some white people are, right? I'm talking about the majority that Satan is lifting up right now, right? There are people now who are walking around who have that bloodline and don't know it and follow Christ, and they're good. They're good with Christ, right? Your bloodline doesn't determine that stuff, guys. That's why in the Bible we're told not to argue over bloodlines. So that's not what I'm saying. Okay. I'm saying there are people who know it and they're profiting off of it and capitalizing off of it. The Tate brothers obviously are because they went back to Romania, which is where Tartaria is. And we didn't even know. Nobody bothered to like look it up on a map, I guess, but there it is. All these people that you see, they're not what you think they are. You want them to be your heroes, and I get it because they look successful and they have these cars. Money doesn't even matter to them. Like they just go to the lot and grab one from their friend who works there because he's one of them too. Most Masons know that they are of that bloodline at this point, and that's why they're there. I'm just being real. And some are black, people of color, darker skin tone black. Some people are black, some people are brown, some people are tan, some people are red, and some people are pasty. It is what it is right now. It is the time of Noah. That's what I don't believe we're in the little time of Satan, but I'm being a proper researcher and digging for truth, right? Truth will liberate us. I know it'll liberate me. House cats. I have an issue with cats. Nowhere do you see cats mentioned in the Bible ever. I feel like they are a genetic mutation from the tiger because Gilgamesh had a pet and it was a tiger. So I think from Gilgamesh's pet tiger, because he loved them so much and they worshiped him, I think they genetically made little beings, little cats. And cats have a devil inside of them, a demon, a parasite that can pass to humans. And allegedly, it is a parasite that controls your neurological decision making abilities. So that's why there's the meme that cats rule the world because they have that parasite that can pass to humans. Gross, I know, but it's the truth, guys. If I don't know about something, we do exactly what we're doing now and we research it. All right, so let's see. Is this just a link? Because I don't want to. All right, can you guys see this? Let me make sure. Yep. Okay. The Little Season of Satan: Hidden History or Hidden Agenda. I like that. I like that title already. All right, let's check it out. Oh, wrong tab. I hate that name now. Like, I don't even answer to it. Okay. The Faith by Reason podcast. Okay, so it says there's a lot of astrological noise on social media and alternative news. Hold on, guys. Hang on. There we go. All right, you know what? We're gonna look at this, and then I'll end this video. It'll be like an intro, and we'll do it again. But let's check this out. All right, it says there's a lot of astrological noise on social media and alternative news about the so-called little season of Satan and whether or not we are currently in it. Okay, so he said so-called, so it's obvious maybe he might be biased, right? The little season theory essentially states that we are in a post-millennial period between the thousand-year kingdom of Jesus and the great white throne of judgment. Revelation chapter 20 states that after Armageddon scenario, Satan is imprisoned for the thousand-year millennial reign of Jesus, after which he is released for a little season to gather the nations to overflow Jesus in Jerusalem. According to this theory, we are in that season right now. This means that the rapture, the tribulation, Armageddon, the second coming, and the thousand year already happened. So if you're going to be in this camp, you have to understand that all those things already occurred. It is my belief. Let me play devil's advocate or God's advocate here. Why would this be a deception? My first reason for this is because they don't want you to recognize the Antichrist. They don't want you to know it, what he, him. Why else would they want to lie about it? They don't want you to know that it's the season, time, like, excuse me, it is like the times of Noah, right? With all the GMOs and things being altered and bloodlines. They don't want you to know that we're in that time. Possibly. Let's continue. The proof point promoted by people, and this is what bothers me, is Tartaria, guys. And I did a video on this the other day. Tartarus is in scripture. Most everyday secular people and even most Christians do not know that the word Tartarus is biblical. It came from the Bible, guys. It is a place of imprisonment for the fallen angels. That's why I have a hard time believing this, is because the people that push it, I already know them. I've watched their channels for years, and then I stopped watching them for a very specific reason. And I don't know how to. They are of that bloodline. Some of them play two parts. One of them, and I'm not going to say who it is because I watch them and I like them, but one of them is playing two parts, a man and a woman. And the woman is a guest on his own show. Yes, he's doing it. Do you ever see how much like Jordan Peterson looks like Russell Brand? They're all related in some way, man. Like anyways, it gets wild, it gets weird. But the people pushing that start, instead of listening, turn it down. Start looking at them or start listening for keywords, right? Are they in any type of way promoting violence? Are they in any type of way promoting things like that? They also don't want you to know if the rapture is real, that it may have already happened. Because again, something has happened across the land of the realm to people. And it is not deniable anymore. And they're doing major damage control with things like capybara, demon syndrome. What was the other one I heard the other day? It's all women. You're hysterical. You're hysterical. You need to go to a place. Why is it always the woman who has to go to a place or be put on a medication? Typhoid Mary, Ethel Kennedy. Whenever there's a woman trying to speak out in these times, because they were during the Spanish flu, I already know what's going to happen to me. It's already been told to me, or at least a possibility. I've done everything I could to avoid it. I don't know if I'm supposed to avoid it because it might be somebody else's salvation. So, anyways, like I said, I can't tell you everything and I won't tell you everything. So, the proof point is Tartaria architecture that we see remnants of around the world. Now, I'm saying Tartaria is where the fallen angels were in prison. Okay, so either A, you have to understand that all this stuff happened and we are the fallen and left behind. We are of the Nephilim bloodline, all of us, everyone who's here. That it's all already happened. And this is why we have that fake reincarnation system and trade and switch out bodies and this, that, and the other. And that's why we do the memory erase because we don't want to remember we've been left behind. I don't think that's what's happening, but if you believe in this theory, that's one of the endings for it. Is that all this already happened and we are the left behind. The other thing, why do we have then I've seen beautiful churches, I've went to them. Pittsburgh is full of nothing but this type of grand architecture. Why would they make architecture, guys, that we know now has the perfect geometric elements to be beneficial for our temples, which are our bodies? When we go in there and the bells and the way things are shaped and the frequency and how it raises people up. Now that we know all these things, why would the fallen angels want to do something like that for mankind? Because some watchers, not all of them fell, and we all worked side by side at one time. God, I'm getting the chills. We worked side by side at one time. You need to remember who you really are. And yes, that's a thing. I thought it was like a woke saying. And I had that shirt. I had the woke shirt. And as soon as I bought it, everybody started hating woke. But I believe the original definition, you need to be aware. You need to wake up, be aware, so that you can make a decision. Because otherwise, you're gonna make a decision either by not making a decision, and you're gonna have a default, just like Adam and Eve did. Satan became their God by default. He runs the earth by default because we're not saying no more. We're not kicking him out of the garden and saying no more. This apparently speaks to an advanced civilization with extraordinary technological know-how that vanished no more than a few hundred years ago. Another point. They're the ones that destroyed it. They're destroyers. That's what they do, especially if they were ginormous. Again, they're like humans. Some eat meat, some of them are vegetarian or fruitarians. And I don't know if vegetables are even real, guys. I'm big on fruits. Where do you ever see in the wild a green pepper growing? Like that's weird. I love green peppers and orange peppers, but I've never seen one growing anywhere ever by itself, just naturally. You don't see that. So I'm really thinking fruit is the way to go, like fruitarian. My personal outlook. You don't have to, like, I'm trying to give you little things, but you don't have to listen. You don't have to believe me. According to them, this abandoned. Okay, so now he's going to be too far on the other side, I think. But does the little season in Tartaria fit biblically, historically, and logically? The answer is no. A mere cursory examination of this theory shows it's utterly ludicrous. Okay, now, so I don't like the gaslighting. Like, he doesn't have to be like that about it. You're not going to convince nobody. Like, people are just going to stop listening. But I'm going to make myself listen because I want to see where he goes with this. The answer is no, it's ridiculous. So why is it being promoted? I was puzzled by this until I noticed that the promoters of this theory tended to also hold another long-held, equally poor eschatological theology. And the little season is their last attempt to justify their bankrupt beliefs. I break it all down in this special episode of Faith by Reason, refuting silly eschatology. So we don't get to hear it. Oh, he loves you. I love your work. Heard it on Nephilim Death Squad. I was also a pre or mid-trib believer, and I really like the 3 rapture theory you put forth. Hey, oh my gosh. I've never heard anyone else but me say that. Never. And I can almost tell you when they happened because I watched the decline in the people around me. One was June 2019, and the one before that would have been the crazy eclipse, I think. Maybe. Excuse me. Wow. Because if you send 3 angels out to go to the 3 quarters of the world, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Well, 4 corners. But 1, 2, 3, and then the last one would be whoever's left remaining. Wow, I believe that too. Can you not read? Is there no like transcript that you can read the whole thing, or do you have to listen to it all? I don't know how to listen to it without getting a strike, guys. I really don't. Email, tune in, RSS more. No, I just wanted to see if I could get this in a transcript. Download, share, visit episode page. Hey, now what's up? There we go. Hold on. I just want to see. Okay, so this is the episode of that podcast. Play episode, blah, blah, blah. Can't we read it? I just wanted to read it. You goob. All right, so I guess we can't read that. Let's go back to our search. And let's see if I can go back. There we go. All right, can you guys see this? All right, where we're supposed to be. Cool. I'm gonna close that tab. Are you still seeing it? All right. All right, so who should we look at now? I wanted to look at somebody's like ancient take on it. Satan's little season. Ugh. See, I don't believe it's happening now either. I think we're in the days of Noah. The doctrine of last things, the final state of the wicked, will not last long, and will be his last gasp. Apostasy. I'd like somebody who has a little credibility. Wisdom Library, what is that? 2025. A special duration described for 36 years, manifestation once again extends power against the church. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Just to check and see what it says. Wisdom Library, Peace, Love, and Dharma. Oh, okay. Why do you gotta show bras and stuff as your ad, man? Leave me alone. Yeah. In early Christianity, should I share this? Now, this one says, in early Christianity, little season denotes a distinct period that serves 2 main purposes. Firstly, it is a time. I want to be able to read my Bible if we need to go forward in it. I'm not going to do this too much longer, but we're going to do it again. What I'm going to do is invite you all to send me things we can read as we search, okay? Things that you found convincing, things that articles or links that convince you, or a person, right, who you believe is credible. Send me that stuff, because I'm also curious at how your discernment is these days. Okay, anti-Nicene. This is from the anti-Nicene fathers. It says a specified duration described as 3 years and 6 months. See, now that's the tribulation. Wouldn't that be the tribulation? That's when the 2 witnesses. I don't know, man. Will once again exert his power over the church, a period of time referenced in a biblical sense during which the faithful are to remain in a state of rest before the resurrection. Early Christianity, also known as the early church, refers to the period starting roughly in the 6th century BC up until 325 AD, during which year the first council of Nicaea was convened. Popular literature includes the writings by the early church fathers, blah, blah, blah. Why didn't you just give me the actual church fathers doctrine, buddy. Okay. Now this video has been pretty long, and I know I talked a lot. I apologize. You guys participated though, and that's awesome. I love that. I'm so excited about that. But I don't want it to be super long. I want it to be user friendly. So what I'm going to do is ask you to send in things that convinced you. Let's see what Connor or Conan had to say. It was said he killed a fig tree, but that could be a lie. Same for the fish thing. Christ didn't actually kill fish. He fed people with them, and they didn't display him eating. He fed them fish. Okay? And again, some people have to come to certain things on their own. I'm not sure what Cassandra means. Peppers are fruits. Oh, you're right. Fruits were meant to be our food, not veggies. It seems that way. I had a pear the other day, though, and it didn't have a seed. Any. I'm so disappointed. Like, I want real food, man. I hate where things have gone. And I would be totally happy living in a tent. It wouldn't bother me. What would bother me would be stalkers and harassers. Other than that, I would love it. Like, I just would. I'm one of those people. My dad raised me a lot outside, and that's where I feel comfortable. I don't know how to say it, but I want you guys to send me what convinces you. I'm gonna go back quick just to see. See, that's from Medium. It says Satan is not fighting churches; he is joining them. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. And it's from a website called Medium, not one that you would normally think of, right? Normally. Christian Library, the doctrine of the last things, the final state of the wicked. A Christian response. Let's check this out as we segue to our closing of the video here. And see, make sure everything's okay. All right, cool. Has Satan's little season already begun? I think this is crooked. I'm sorry, guys. Very casual with me. I'll never be propped up. Not in that way. I'm being propped up right now, though, but in another way. God's with me. Has Satan's little season already begun? A Christian response. Now, this is from 2025, and you know how I feel about current things. I think we all are a little deluded in this time, myself included, obviously. I'm always included. When I say stuff like that, I mean myself too. I've been wicked, I'm a sinner, like I know all these things. But being accountable right now is key, guys. You have to be accountable, or you'll get stuck in that. If you're not being accountable for something, you'll get stuck in that deception. That's when you become deluded. And right now, it's really bad. Like, I'm seeing people that I see regularly decline pretty quickly. So, and by that, I mean their humanity. I don't know how else to say it. I'm not going to give you dirty details. Throughout history, the enemy of our souls has sought to distort biblical truth, leading many astray through deceptive doctrines. I didn't know this was going to say it was a deception, but here we go. One such rising deception is the belief that Christ has already returned, reigned for 1,000 years, and that we're now living in the so-called little season of Satan's release, as described in Revelation 27-8. This teaching, though seemingly obscure, is rapidly gaining traction among some who are delusioned with mainstream eschatology. However, as we explore, this doctrine is not only biblically unsound, but also bears dangerous similarities to Gnostic and New Age distortion. I'm going to say right now, I have a lot in common with Gnostics too. I have certain things that I think they were right about. I just do. I might change my mind tomorrow. God might reveal more to me. And he knows I'm struggling with certain things as far as religion goes. That's why I prefer not to be under any labels. I apologize to you that my stomach is really growling. That's another thing. I've said this over and over and over for years. Anything that is trending is not good. Anything that the masses are flocking to is not a good thing in this time. You want to try and do the opposite of whatever it is they're feeding us. And most videos don't trend until we start watching them. They put them in that category so we see it. and watch it, and then it gets motion. Again, everything is reversed. Everything that you've been taught by them is upside down, okay? It doesn't trend until you actually start watching it. They put it in that category to make it trend, guys. That's what they do. Um, Anything that's trending is usually not good. It's not a good thing. The carnivore diet, not good for you. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. My own experience with people in my family, if you eat like that, it will give you high blood pressure, and high blood pressure makes you mean and you get angry and you pop off on people a lot. Hence, all of our young men turning into incels because they are practicing that. And it's the truth. I'm not being hateful. I'm trying to bring you the truth so that maybe you won't stumble into these pitfalls. And that's a really easy way to spot a deception is if it's something that's being pushed massively, then it's a lie usually, guys. Anything Satan lets get traction on the screen is not good. And that Henry Moon guy, as much as I like his material, there's something wrong there. Why are his eyes black? It's like they all have these fake AI things to use because they don't want you to see themselves. You should ask yourself why. Maybe they're ginormous. Maybe they're too big for cameras like ours. Anyways, understanding Satan's little season. The core belief of this false doctrine is that Christ's second coming was fulfilled in 70 AD with the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. Hold, please. I'm going to tell you for the last time, and this somebody sent me a video and I started watching it. This is a basic Christian doctrine. If you don't understand this, again, you don't know the real Christ. When they speak of the temple, they're talking about this, your body. The temple is your body. Christ said, you can destroy this temple and I will rebuild it in 3 days. And he did that already. He did that with his body. These people pushing some of this stuff is Zionism. And it's just the truth. I love everybody, all right? But one nation shouldn't give a preference over another. We don't know who anybody is right now. We've been told nothing but lies. We know this. Why are we still then using their information? Like things about celebrities or that celebrity pastors say, or those, it's not what you want to listen to. And it's just the truth. I don't want to see so many people deluded. I don't want to be deluded. I want us to live our lives in joy and abundance the way the Creator Maker intended for it to be. But we got to go through it first. We have to make the choice that that's what we want is harmony with each other. I don't want to see this happen. Like when I say I'm excited about like seeing magnificent sights, right? I'm excited about people being saved and not spending eternity in Hades. That excites me. The fact that my family might have a second chance after all this, that excites me. But going through it is a whole nother issue. And unfortunately, we have to go through it. And God is doing a new thing. Pray for courage and pray for wisdom to ask Him what new thing He is doing in you. Because He's working in me, and I don't know yet what it is or what it's going to be. But some type of benefit I'm going to get, I think, for quitting dairy, which I don't deserve and I shouldn't even get because I was negligent and ignorant too long. But it feels really good to say that and just get it out. Confession is good for the soul, guys. They don't want you doing that either. Anything that they are bashing right now, anything that they are punching on and telling you is wrong or bad, just like my neighborhood, how they are with me, anything that you're being told, you should investigate. That person's crazy. Oh, well, go listen to what they're saying. That person's no good. Go listen to them, what they're saying. See what they're saying. If the media tells you somebody is a vicious villain, you should dig deeper. Do I think the saints are still walking the earth? Absolutely. We don't have to die. That's what Christ showed us. We don't have to die. But everybody still wants to keep going around and around and around in these same BS scenarios and replaying Revelation. The people you're watching are not, they're Masonic. KJV only is Masonic. I'll say it right now. I'm not going to tell you which Bible to read, but I'm telling you that the ones who say that are Masonic. There's a reason they want you reading that one and that one only. Ask yourself why. Why? What are they hiding from you? Just because you receive new information does not mean you should change your whole life either. Make a wise decision. But there's more than just a KJV. And finally, if Christ is king, why do we have somebody else's name on the Bible? Why is it called King James Bible? If Christ is our king, he had it commissioned. I don't care. You're not hearing me. If Christ is your king, if he is king over the realm, then why on earth is there another king's name on our Bible? And I'm French. So my dad would hear me say that and probably be a little angry with me. But I'm just being honest. Did anybody comment? I probably lost everybody right there that was watching. Oh, I didn't. Oh, that's crazy. Did you quit eggs and meat? I did. I quit meat a while ago, and eggs too. Eggs started tasting like sulfur to me, and that's bad. So, yeah, I lost my taste for them. I used to eat eggs all the time, like 3 times a week. I used to give it to my boys because we're told that it's good for boys, and I even read that it'll keep their mental stability stable. So, I gave it to my boys like 3 times a week. My son didn't wanna eat meat when he was little. I didn't wanna eat it either. My parents made me, and I made him because doctors said it was good. Everybody we're told is good, guys. Like, are you seeing it yet? And yes, I'm sad. Yes, I'm not always filled with joy because it's a damn sad situation. I'm not gonna make things pretty and beautiful if they're not. What's pretty and beautiful is God's plan, nature, how it operates on its own without us interfering with it. I don't like living in a box, but that's just me. I'd be fine living in the trees in a tree house. That'd be dope. Have you seen some of the stuff they've built on like those home and garden shows? People actually live like have houses built in the trees. That's how we used to live. Like that used to be us. We were closer to God. We were closer to the heavens and away from the giant's reach. But yes, I quit eggs and meat. I just recently quit milk and cheese. I love milk like so much. I love cheese so much. I have a vegan cheese I got now, and a vegan spread from Country Crock that I actually really like. It's actually really good because I never was into grease. I'm not like a grease person. I don't like when things are slimy. So I really like the vegan butter that I got. And I did get vegan cheese. It's not terrible. I got a vegan pizza too with the cheese, and it's not terrible. But I like thin crust already. So again, it's preference as far as that goes. But for me, it's not preference. For me, it's about murder. I don't want to participate in murder anymore, and that's what that is. If you would like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you would like, here's what I'll do. I haven't watched it yet. I could only get through 10 minutes. It's very hard to watch. The movie I shared is called Dominion, and it explains the dairy industry and explains the meat industry, but it doesn't just explain it, it shows it, the whole process. And I hate that word, processed meat, processed. Uh, you mean tortured. I didn't know my food was tortured before I ate it. I had no idea. See, look, I just lost 2. People don't, that when their conscience start hearing things, they run. Tam, I would love to live in a treehouse. That'd be so dope. Conan Highwoods honey? Yes, but I found out that you can have honey that is not harmful to bees. But I don't know about I don't know how I feel about honey though. Insects are a little different. They're a different breed. And I don't feel like see, we borrow their honey, but they still keep their honey and they still live in their honeycomb and they still have their families, right? As far as I'm aware, we don't kill any of the bees, as far as I know. So to me, that is a little different. It's also different to me if you live on a farm and you just have 1 or 2 cows and they are like, they're not going to slaughter. They're just for your farm. Like one is for the milk, right? Um, if it's done naturally with natural animal husbandry and you just get it for your family, I look at that a little differently too. But again, if you want, I will watch Dominion and you guys can watch me react to it. I don't know if I can allow you to see it. I might have to watch it on a different device and you would just see my reaction. But if you want to, I could do that. I would be willing to do that only to impress upon you how horrific the situation really is because you honestly don't know. Um, There's a movie that was out a long time ago called Fast Food Nation, which shows some of it. And I had stopped eating meat for a period of time then too. But again, the people around me, my mother couldn't handle it. My dad didn't like it. And then my husband, when I quit, when I was around him, he didn't like it. But God's doing a new thing in me. God's making me stronger. And the sad fact about that is though, is if he's making me stronger, what is he making me stronger to face? I used to watch it, but it is, oh, really? Wow. That's new to me. I'm all right. I'm still digesting what I saw with the animal one. I don't know if I can watch the bee one yet, but I haven't ate honey since I found out that, vegans don't eat that either. Wow. Ugh, I didn't know that. Okay. Um, it says this teaching is often linked to fringe historical revisionism, including theories about lost civilizations and hidden architectures supposedly built during Christ's millennial reign. These claims, however, lack biblical and historical support and bear dangerous resemblance to esoteric Gnostic narratives that seek to rewrite Christian history. I'm on the fence about history, though, of what we're told about history. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm listening to music today because, again, I was nervous about getting on camera. I'm not like a performer person, at least not anymore. I don't like cameras naturally, like that's my natural inclination. But I'm doing this for you guys, and so we can have a little bit of like regular fellowship. And so I could show you the physical Bibles that I had. When I tell you I'm reading out of my Catholic one, um, I'm not kidding when I say it has a glossary, a dictionary, notes, pictures, like all of it. Can you see that? Oh gosh, there you go, buddy. Okay. There are those who falsely claim that Jesus is already present on earth in an undisclosed location, waiting to reveal himself. Others teach that the millennium is not a literal reign of Christ, but a spiritual dominion in the hearts of believers, thereby stripping biblical eschatology of its physical fulfillment. Such views contradict the clear teachings of Scripture that Jesus will return in a visible, bodily manner to establish his kingdom on earth. Okay, so now the second kingdom, or the second coming, if that already happened, every eye would have seen. So everyone that was on earth would have probably instantly converted. Um, but in this little season, that would have already happened. So that means, again, Christ is somewhere hiding himself. I don't know that he would do that. But there is a verse that says it is God's job to conceal a thing and a king's job to seek it out. And I think that some of the missing 411s have found the literal gates to either Jerusalem or Eden or whatever. I think we are in a different time. God is doing a new thing, and not everything is in scripture. Now, I'm not trying to be heretical there. I just mean that God's not, he needs room to move and to work, right? He's not going to give you everything. What wise person would give their enemy access to their game plan completely? God wouldn't do that, right? He wants to warn us in ways that we will understand, but he doesn't necessarily need to give Satan any, room there. However, I'm willing to say I don't think I'm a main character, but I do think we are each main characters in our own story, right? We should keep our eye on God. Otherwise, you get too pride filled and everything falls with pride. Everything. I was there. I know it. And well, mine was like a weird pride because I still don't like the way I look. It had nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? So if Christ is here, he would be hiding. I am torn on this, guys. I really am. So here's what I'm going to tell you in closing, and we're going to look at this in the next one. Latter-day Saints. Okay, let me look at you while I'm saying this. Latter-day Saints. If I pronounce him, the Latter-day Saints. We're going to have to look at them. Why, you're going to ask? Because allegedly, they have record of Christ and Father God being seen by Joseph Smith. Hold a second there. Let's hold it there. Bible scripture does tell us that in the end times, it will be Christ and Father coming. If I continue on reading, it is both of them at this time that come upon the earth. which is wild. Um, it says every eye shall see during the second coming. But after that, where would Christ be if he actually ruled on the earth and Satan comes to deceive everybody? What does Christ do? Does he just get hidden? Does Satan have the power to hide him from the eyes of us, like through technology? Because the latter day, if we are in the little season, the latter day saints have the answer. And I'm just being honest. The latter day saints are the ones who know because they have the most recent documentation. And I'm just being real. Like, I don't know why they don't teach that that was the second coming. I'm not sure about that. But I do know that everybody that's ridiculed and persecuted seems to be at least trying to be a child of God. And I know they get just as much persecution as the Catholic Church. Um, Not so much with the Protestants, right? Not so much with Buddhists, not so much with Hindus, although they've had their issues with in Thailand with their mountain and stuff. And so they have had some issues with politically. Um, Anyone who's trying to be a peaceful person has issues. So that's where we're going to go next. We have to look a little into the LDS doctrine to find out, like, is this a fake history? Did they hide Christ from us? That's the scariest part of this theory, is if it is Satan's time, Christ is hiding himself from us, or he's allowing himself to be hidden. But why? Would he actually do that? That's my main question. Would he do that? Has he done it? If so, where's he at? I always get called to Joshua Tree, like, that's my go-to. I feel like Joshua Tree is named that because of Christ, and I'm just gonna be real. Like, that's my something God gave to me, and I keep being called to that area, but I'm also called to a couple other spots. So, I believe, in the national parks, these missing 411, I don't think they're all going missing. Think, like, with Lori and Chad Daybell, it's very possible that, their child didn't get his medication, he was so young, it's very possible that he actually went with Christ, in the national park. I do believe that's why they're shutting things down. Um, there are gates there. There are portals in the national parks, but some portals go to bad places and some go to good places. And that is scriptural. It's in scripture. Now, why they're saying this second coming or this little season is Gnostic, I'm not sure. And I'm going to take a little time to check into that, because I want to have a strong idea of that part of things. I don't want to mislead anybody, with my own personal opinion. So, having said that, you guys have a blessed day. Be gracious, be grateful, please be kind, because everything that we do is coming back to us pretty quick here. And that's not karma, it's just common sense and consequences for our actions. Please do your best to go out and do no harm and be blessed and have a blessed day. And I love you so much. Um, I just can't really be around people right now because it's painful. It's painful. And if you make me watch that movie in front of you and get my reaction, you're gonna see pain because it's a hard watch. I only got 10 minutes through it. I can't seem to watch it. Um, the things that people are doing, and we live with these people in society, people that work at like slaughterhouses. And like I saw a clip the other day of somebody took a baby lamb, and I don't know if it was uncooperative. It was so small, I don't know how it couldn't cooperate, but it must have been not the sex or gender, whatever they were looking for. And they just smashed it off the cement floor. These are the people who live with us in society. You need to care. You should care how your food gets to your plate because they're doing things like that. And that means you're living around people who are that cruel and that sadistic. They're causing harm for their own pleasure. And we have a lot of those around us. I know because I live with a couple of them and I call them family. And I love them and I pray for them and I fast for them and do all the things. But if they don't consent and they don't look for truth on their own, there's not a lot you can do. God, help me to be like Esther and help you to be like the saint that you need to be like. Look to them for encouragement and courage. This is a time where great courage and bravery is necessary. It's not an option. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you so much for your fellowship today. It was awesome.